There was a lot of excitement coming into Part 2 of the Crosstown Classic yesterday with their guys and our guys coming into this series on win streaks. But in the end, something had to give, and it was our guys missing an opportunity to clinch the Crosstown Cup. Tonight, with the season series knotted up at 2 apiece, the hardware and inner-city bragging rights are still up for grabs. Will it be black or blue when the dust settles on this one? There she is, the city beautiful, Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Melky Cabrera and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Joe Maddon's crosstown rival, Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this 3-game set. In the opener last night, or I should say yesterday, Justin Marshall did not have one of his good games. He gave up 6 runs in 6 innings, and they won that ball game 6-5. So in order for us to take the lead in the quest for this Crosstown Cup, we got to beat their best tonight. There's no doubt that Jake Arrieta is having a tremendous run. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and this year at 13-6 with a 2.38 ERA, he's proving it. Now, when we saw him at Wrigley Field, the game before the All-Star break, he was dominant. Threw a complete game, gave up just 2 hits, and didn't give up any semblance of a ball going out of the ballpark. So Arrieta was terrific. He's been terrific. And hopefully tonight he'll get behind some of the hitters and they'll be able to do something against him, because when you look at his last 10 starts, you see a 7-1 record, a 1.23 ERA, opponents hitting just 163, and 1 home run while striking out 69. So Jake Arrieta is good. Jose Quintana is going to have to be a little bit better. Well, it was the top of their order that got done for him yesterday, and our guys are going to have to do the same thing against him. When you take a look at the top of their order, you'll realize that Fowler and Schwarber did a terrific job. Coughlin had a couple of home runs, and then you look at Rizzo, who had the game-winning home run. So together, the top of their order drove in 6, scored 6, and got everything done. Now for us, it's Adam Eaton at the top. He had a 2-run homer yesterday. Tyler Saladino hitting second. So they had 4 hits between them. If they can set the table, and then our guys in the middle can knock them in, Abreu, Garcia, Cabrera, they've got to get the job done. All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. Sox and Cubs, North and South, bragging rights. Well, that's next. Two men aboard. Pedro Strop escaped the jam in the 8th, striking out Adam Eaton and Tyler Saladino to end the inning. The demonstrative fist bumps from Pedro brought questions from the media today about how the game has changed. Here is how Robin responded.
It has changed. I think, now there's more of it that goes on. Everything has kind of evolved and changed. And it used to be something like that would, a guy would probably get hit. And that's not necessarily how it is today. So I think you look at it, you see it all the time. I've seen worse than that, but that's just a guy that's emotional. He's in a tight spot and gets out of it. The same as a guy that hits a homer and stands there for a while and watches it and then takes off running. So, every position and every guy on the field, probably there's a different level of what people think is acceptable and what's not. Today's game, it just seems that's what guys do, and it's different. But I think fans enjoy that stuff, and that's part of what it's evolved into.
Jose Quintana knows he's got to be at his best against Jake Arrieta as Jose looking for his 7th win. And stay with us. We'll be back with the lineups and the first pitch after these messages.
Clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's going to be a standing room only crowd tonight as Jose Quintana takes on Jake Arrieta and our Sox versus the red hot Chicago Cubs. So let's take a look at how Joe Maddon's going to line up his Cubs. Dexter Fowler leading it off. Kyle Schwarber in the 2 spot. Then it's Chris Bryant hitting 3rd. Anthony Rizzo hitting cleanup. Then it's Jorge Soler, did not play in the game yesterday. Kristen Orfia, Starlin Castro, David Ross behind the plate, and Addison Russell batting 9th and playing shortstop. The defense, and now that lineup behind Jose Quintana, Melky Cabrera in left field, Adam Eaton in center, Abasil Garcia in right. Tyler Saladino at 3rd with Alexi Ramirez at short, Carlos Sanchez at 2nd, and Jose Abreu at 1st. It's Tyler Flowers behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana, looking for his 7th win. His ERA a little above 3.5. Only 31 walks and 127 strikeouts in 148 innings. The umpires for the game tonight, the crew chief Joe West is behind the plate. DJ Rayburn at 1st. Clint Fagan is at 2nd, and Kerwin Danley is at 3rd. Let's take a look at the American League wild card and how it stands as we enter play tonight. The Blue Jays, well, they're 2.5 games up for the number 1 wild card. Then it's the Angels. Baltimore Orioles a 1.5 games back. Tampa Bay at 2. The Rangers at 2.5. the Twins, the 3-back, and the Tigers and our Sox at 5 games back. A lot of teams to jump over, but then again, there's 6 weeks to do it. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. That means we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for Game 2 of this 3-game series. As Jose Quintana gets set to turn it loose to Dexter Fowler. And first ball, Hunting. 2 hopper. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's a nice. That'll bring up Kyle Schwarber. He was 1 for 3 yesterday with a sacrifice fly. Good looking young hitter, 22 years old, out of Indiana University. Cubs come in hitting at .240 as a team with a very fine 3.39 team ERA. First pitch strike, and here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap, sent 400 straight away center.
Normally, Schwarber is a dead pull hitter, and that shift would tell you exactly that. Not going to pull quite as much against a left-hander as he does against the right-handers, but he's very strong. He's got some big power to straightaway center and occasionally to left center field, but if he hits the ball on the ground, it is normally to the right side.
Big swing right there. Normally he is short and quick. We saw that yesterday. Comes in at 321, 8 homers already, 26 already knocked in.
He wants to go upstairs inside with a fastball. That's a little too far upstairs.
A beautiful, beautiful evening here in the city. Beautiful. 84 degrees as we speak. He gone.
Good solid breaking ball, and he got Schwarber to expand his zone. In fact, only 1 of the 5 pitches were strikes. He swung at a pitch low and in out of the zone on the 3rd pitch, and this curveball way out of the zone on the 5th pitch and the one that fanned him.
So here's the 3rd baseman, Chris Bryant, hitting at .255, 16 long ones, and 66 driven in. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. He's got an 11-game hitting streak going for him.
And for a big man, he's got surprisingly good speed, and he is a big man.
Well, they got him listed as 6'5", but that might be a little short.
And there you see runs batted in among National League rookies. Matt Duffy is 2nd to Bryant's 66. Then it's Michael Franco, Michael Taylor, and Jock Peterson, who's really had a tough go since the All-Star break.
Breaking ball down.
Jose can cut that slider over the outside corner, and after setting him up with pitches inside, it's not a bad idea, but he's going with the change.
If he could back going with a slider right there, he's gone.
Threw a pretty good changeup, and Bryant was just barely able to stay alive. That ball was low and away. Perfect spot, especially when you're ahead of the hitter.
Outfield for the most part straight up, bit of a gap in right center. Lays off that curveball.
On July 12th, Jose pitched against the Cubs, went 7 in the third, 3 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, and fan 9. He threw the ball very well. The only problem with that is he went head-to-head with Jake Arrieta, who threw the ball just a bit better.
That was the best game we have had pitched against us all season.
Arrieta was at the top of his game. Fan 9 didn't walk anybody.
Here's the payoff. He goes. 1-2-3 inning for Jose. 2 strikeouts, and after half inning of play, it's their guys, nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
Abreu, who's been red hot over the last 23. Melky Cabrera, Avisail Garcia, Adam LaRoche, Alexi Ramirez, Carlos Sanchez, and Tyler Flowers catching and hitting 9. The defense and how they'll line up behind Jake Arrieta left to right, Schwarber, Fowler, and Denorfi in the outfield, with Bryant, Russell, Castro, and Rizzo in the infield. David Ross, 38-year-old catcher behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jake Arrieta on for his 24th start, 13-6, a fine ERA of 2.38. He does keep the ball in the ballpark, and he's got all 4 pitches, and they're good ones, with the changeup a work in progress.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as that is ball 1 to Adam. Adam comes in at 268, 10 homers, 30 knocked in. He was 2 for 4 last night. Up to middle, Castro on a nice little sweep. 1 out.
Selden Castro was taken off shortstop, and in the games he's going to play, it's going to be second and occasionally at third. Does a nice job of getting it over there. He had played some second base before, although he's a lifetime shortstop, and he does have a shortstop's arm, and that helped him on that play.
Just watching them throw, he's got a better arm than Russell.
He does. Yes, indeed. Russell gets rid of it more quickly, though.
But arm strength, he's got it. As here is strike 1 to Tyler. 244. 3 homers, 8 driven in. Tyler was 2 for 5 last night. Arrieta. 6'4", 225 out of Austin, Texas. Two and 1. Up the middle. Nice pick by Rizzo. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to click. Jim Angio, our director and crew, went with Tyler. Steve's going with Melky. Terry Hanley, Eric Aldrich, Mike Williams, Roger Clare, and I, we're going to go with Carlos Sanchez. So here's Abreu at 289, 21 homers, and 67 driven in. He drew the collar last night. He was 0 for 4.
Arrieta came over in what's going to be known as one of the great trades the Cubs ever made, along with Pedro Strop, who we saw last night, and 2 international signing bonus picks in exchange for Scott Feldman and Steve Clevenger. Worked out pretty well. Scott Feldman did pitch well for the Orioles. They were going to try to get into the postseason, but they gave up a whole lot in Jake Arrieta. That was at July 12th of 2013.
That strike, and it's 2-1.
The earned run averages in the National League, Zach Greinke on top by a wide margin at 159. Then it's Jacob deGrom, the young hard-throwing right-hander, and Jake Arrieta is third, just ahead of Clayton Kershaw.
Jacks it up. 3-1.
Arrieta, one of the few pitchers who can throw a good curveball and a good slider in the same outing. Usually a pitcher that throws both will have one of them very good and the other not quite as good.
Well, especially right-handers. You see some left-handers with a good curveball and a good slider, but very seldom see a right-hander with a good curveball and a good slider. Stay fair. It will. Down into the corner, so he's just going to pull up at second. That'll be his 21st two-back.
If Arrieta's ahead on this pitch, he's going to probably go after the corner. But the fact is he's not. He's down 3-1, and he got too much of the plate. Jose sliced it down the line. Fortunately, stayed in play. Just barely fair, but certainly fair enough.
That was a nice approach to that pitch by Abreu. So here's Melky. Melky at 281, 7 homers, 58 driven in. And that's snabbed by Arrieta, and it'll retire the side. So after 1, no score.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
It'll be Rizzo, Soler, and D'Onofrio here in their half of the second inning. Rizzo 1 for 3 last night, a high towering home run. That was the 6th in what turned out to be winning run. He comes in at 296, 23 homers, and 67 driven in.
Rizzo stands right on top of the plate. And that has resulted in, number one, pretty good power numbers, but also he's been hit 23 times. Next closest on the Cubs, 7, like Chris Bryant.
There's the strike. Sanchez out there in short right field. Outfield straight up. Now Cooperstown is filled with guys who moved around in the box and filled with guys who stood right on top of the plate.
Rizzo does just that, but he's not a one-dimensional player. We've seen his glove come in awfully handy at first base. He's only made 4 errors this year in 113 games.
Yeah, he's a good player. 2-2 the count. Just turned 26-year-old.
He really made an adjustment against the left-handers. He used to be a very easy out for them. These days, obviously you can get him out, only it's not that easy.
Hit him on the fist. And Tyler goes over to make the catch.
Pretty good play considering that he was shifted well off the line. Now crossing over into foul territory, he's able to run it down. We haven't seen a whole lot that Tyler does poorly in his brief stint in the major leagues.
Well, there's really not any facet of his game that's poor.
No, he's got a very, very bright future.
Jorge Soler, 23 years old, hitting at .268, 5 homers, 37 knocked in. A very strong young man. 22, 23, 23, 25, 21. They've got a very, very young ball club. They're going to be good for a while. One and one the count. Cubs 32 and 24 on the road. They're 34 and 24 at home. And that's low. So 3 balls and a strike.
He got his pitch and fortunately fouled it back. That was a high fastball out over the plate. They were raving about Soler's command of the strike zone in spring training. And he undoubtedly does as you see that pitch up in the zone. But he's only walked 25 times this year while fanning 105.
Recovers and guns him out. Beautiful play. Beautiful recovery.
If you got a strong arm, that can happen and you can make the play, and Tyler does. Tries to backhand this one, hits the heel of the glove, but he keeps his concentration and then just guns it across and actually gets him by a good full stride. In fact, maybe 2 strides.
Here's DeNorfio. Chris 0 for 4. Yesterday. He comes in at .278, a couple of homers, 15 knocked in. They've got a nice balance of youth and some very experienced veterans.
A lot of people are kind of wondering with Ross behind the plate at 38 years old, why they would bring him in. By bringing him in, they had to get Wellington Castillo, who's a pretty good hitter. But they felt that Ross, number one, could catch John Lester, but also gave him a lot of veteran presence. And he's done a nice job by and large.
Well, Steve, as you are well aware of, today that has more meaning than it has ever in this game. You're getting so many, that's foul, you're getting so many young pitchers coming in that they have to have a little guidance, a little leadership. Now, in the Bazio, the pitching coach, they got it from him, like we've got it from Coop, our pitching coach. But having that guy behind the plate, and I know the people in Boston love David Ross.
Well, they also have Miguel Montero, who's a veteran, so they got two veterans behind the plate.
I'll tell you who thought the world of David Ross too was another catcher, was A.J. Pierzynski. Payoff pitch. Oh, what a play by Saladino again. Wow. Showtime for Saladino. And make sure to follow us on Twitter for breaking news and more at CSN White Sox. Bottom of the second inning, Garcia, LaRoche, Ramirez. Ivy at 263, 11 homers, 45 knocked in. Count evens.
And Joe West just stared at that baseball the whole time, waiting for it to come to rest because nobody touched it. If that one actually spun back untouched into fair territory, it would have been a fair ball. But take a look at Joe. This one fouled straight down, and Joe's taking a look at it. Bounces behind Ross, and he's just going to look at it until it stops. Now it stops. Now he calls it a foul ball.
And that breaking ball hangs inside. There's a strike. Bottom of the zone.
Russ is having some problems holding on to the fastball. He missed the first fastball, and that one was in the zone, and David missed that one also.
Well, this is Chicago.
It is that. And it's dusk.
Watch out. That got him. He didn't want to do that.
Not to lead off an inning, and Avi is hurt. For Arrieta, only the 5th man he's hit all year. For Avi, the 6th time he's been hit.
I think it got him just above the right elbow.
A little piece of the jersey, but certainly didn't slow it down as it caught him on the inside of the right elbow, and that's kind of smart.
So here is Adam, hitting at .210, 10 homers, 37 driven in.
It is early in this game, but so far, Jake Arrieta doesn't have close to the same stuff that he had when he faced us at Wrigley Field. And again, it's early, but the curveball isn't near as sharp.
No, when he came out there, from pitch 1 he had it. Takes ball 1. That was varsity stuff he had.
Yeah, it was very good. And he kept the same stuff from start to finish. No fall off in velocity or sharpness of breaking ball.
Chops that one foul. Yeah, from a baseball standpoint, it was a beautiful thing to see. From a White Sox standpoint, it was beautiful.
Now, if you ran into stuff like that each and every day, the hitters would resign. There would be no hitters.
That was a tip your cap day there.
Fowler is playing a step or so to the left of center.
1-2 the count. Yeah, veterans when they run up against veteran hitters when they run up against that kind of stuff on a particular day, when they go for 4, it doesn't bother them one bit.
No, he threw a 2-hit shutout. Not much you can do with no walks. He didn't get himself in trouble, and nobody could get him in trouble.
There he goes. Chops that one foul.
It was not a shutout. It was a complete game. We did score a run.
Well, I told you that story about Ralph Garr when they were facing Nolan Ryan out at the Big A at 6 o'clock. Ralph leads off the game. Saw 3 fastballs. Comes back and dug out and says, "This ball game is over." And it was.
Especially at 6 o'clock. That shouldn't have been allowed.
Watch out. Ball gets away from Moss.
This is a time to really, and the hitters are trying, of course, this is a time to jump on Arrieta because his stuff and his location is not particularly good. He throws his 4th wild pitch of the year. That's a breaking ball, and Ross had no chance. He tries to backhand it, which is not recommended, but he's not going to be able to move that quickly to his right. So he couldn't get his body in front, and Avi in a scoring position.
So 2-2 the count. He got a modified shift on for him. And that's going to be foul. And once again, the 2-2.
That one very similar to the one that went to the screen, but this time Ross did backhand it.
There's a little flipper out there into left field, and that's going to be caught. So Schwarber makes the catch for out number 1.
Cover all the bases for just $79 by purchasing an Abreu 4-pack. Each pack includes 4 upper box game tickets, 4 hot dog value meals, and a parking pass. Abreu 4-packs are available now for all remaining Monday through Thursday games. Visit whitesox.com/Abreu to order yours today.
Here's Alexei hitting at .239, 7 homers and 42 driven in, 1 for 4 yesterday. Takes ball 1.
That's a very fast cutter. He threw at 93. Had a little depth to it. He might term that his slider, but a lot of velocity.
And that evens the count. No,
That
not many 93-mile-an-hour sliders around.
Last 6, 333 for Alexei.
Another good snap, and he throws it away. So now they're going to hold Avi at third. And we catch a huge, huge break.
That's just the second error of the year by Jake Arrieta. He does the right thing here. He looks, and then unfortunately, this is what pitchers have gotten used to, and it's not really a smart play. Arrieta certainly knows better. He throws it flat-footed and tries to lollipop it to first base. All you need is a couple of steps and put a little something on it. You got the man at second diving back into the bag, and Arrieta threw it into right field.
Rizzo came over to say something to him. Joe West went out to break it up immediately.
Well, he knows he's going over there to say, try to put that out of your mind and get us out of this inning. If you give up one, you give up one.
Here's Carlos. Curveball strike. Carlos was 2 for 3 yesterday.
With the middle infield back, you've got to have some contact. And Rizzo is going to be back at first, so the only guy that's even with the bag is Bryant at third. Ground ball gets you a run, a much needed run.
Ball hit hard. Ronnie scores. Now they're going to go to third. They don't get Alexei, and it's 1-0. Carlos gets the job done.
RBI number 18, and Carlos, it's a one-hop rocket. It's right at Castro, but puts the Sox on top. So the hit batsman, the errant throw, without the benefit of a hit, has produced at least one this inning.
Now Carlos, last week in 10 days, has been squaring it up just about as good as anybody on this ball club.
From both sides of the plate, he is really comfortable.
And here's Tyler. Tyler, 223, 8 homers, 29 driven in. Takes it right there for strike one.
That fastball by Jake Arrieta. Tyler Flowers registered at 97 on the fast pitch gun. Brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Here's southpaw, delighting the young fans.
Beach ball hits the track out there in center field.
Pretty good number for Tyler Flowers, hitting .308 with a couple of homers and 12 driven in, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Those are clutch hits. Not a whole lot of guys can tell you in that situation they're going to hit over 300.
Two and one. Adam Eaton on deck. Pretty good pass on that one. Underneath it, and the count evens to 2. Got him, but we get a gift right there. We'll take it. And after 2 innings, it's 1-0 Sox.
Chicago Data Strong fan, you just might see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
All right, Jose, you got your run, buddy.
Some days that's about all you're going to get.
Every time he throws his last pitch and Tyler's going to go to second base, Quintana gets out of there.
I don't blame him.
He gets out of there.
Getting hit in the back of the head on a throw to second is not conducive to a very good outing. Even that young man knows that.
So he's had some good leather work already from Tyler Saladino. Twice. He's retired everybody, so it'll be the lower third of their order. Castro, Ross, and Russell. Takes first pitch strike. That's a little bit low. Another jam-packed ballpark. Two and one to count.
I remember watching Starlin Castro in the Arizona Fall League. He was just a very young player, had great hand-eye coordination, didn't strike out very much, but his problem then was putting too many pitches in play.
Stops that one foul.
There's something to be said for sometimes when a pitcher makes a good pitch, you let it go. Or maybe you swing and miss. You don't get yourself out on a pitcher's pitch. His hand-eye coordination was so good at a very young age that he was putting really good pitchers' pitches in play, grounding out to short, grounding out to second. Of course, when you get a little bit older and you get 207 hits to lead the National League in hits, you've done a pretty good job of it.
High pop up, and that's going to be a souvenir. Another souvenir.
This ballpark yesterday was very lively. And I think there's a whole lot of people still amazed that Adam Eaton's fly ball to left field went out of the ballpark. I know Kyle Hendricks was shocked by it. He was a man who threw the pitch. And Adam hit the ball off the end of the bat, his 10th home run of the year, and that one just kept on going. This was yesterday, and the wind was blowing out toward left center field. And Adam just kind of flicks at it, but it goes out. 2-run homer. Pretty happy man, as you would expect. That coming in the 4th inning.
High pop up. This was playable.
Sox fans, join us on Saturday, August 29th at 6:10 as our White Sox take on the Mariners. Also, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Jermaine Dye World Series Moment bobblehead presented by Pepsi. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com.
So here's David Ross, veteran catcher. Yeah, when you get Pierzynski, who throws around compliments like manhole covers, raving about a catcher, you know he's pretty good.
If you can handle a pitching staff as he can, you're going to spend a long time in the major leagues. Might not always be starting or playing as much as you'd like, but you're going to get an opportunity to have on a major league uniform for quite some time, and afterward there's a lot of people believe that he's going to make a great coach and maybe a manager.
That's the second part of it. One and two. That's in right field. That's Ken Korn.
You start a ball game at 6 o'clock, or 6:10 in this case, and usually very much the pitcher's advantage. The lights have not taken over yet. There are some shadows around home plate. It's not the easiest time in the world to hit, and both pitchers so far have dominated, with just the one mistake by Jake Arrieta leading to the run.
Addison Russell takes low ball 1. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. He comes in at 237, 7 homers and 31 knocked in.
Get a look at Joe Madden, skipper of the Cubs. 9 years with the Tampa Bay Rays. He saw them go from the Devil Rays to just the Rays. Also saw them in the postseason 4 times. And this is his first year as the Cubs manager. He's a good one. What a lot of people don't know about Joe Madden was that he spent a great deal of time in the Angels organization, and in fact really helped a young managerial product by the name of Mike Scioscia learn how to manage in the major leagues.
That's hit hard down to the corner. But you can cancel a post-game show. That's his 21st double. And first hit for the Cubs.
Russell is a very strong young man, with the emphasis on young, and he's going to get a whole lot stronger. Hit 7 home runs this year, takes that one into the corner. He was a lifetime shortstop, learned how to play second base in order to get into the lineup. Now they've accommodated him by moving him over as the everyday shortstop.
So here's Dexter. He grounded out to Alexei on the first pitch of the ball game. Takes a breaking ball strike.
Fowler's been a better hitter from the right side, with most of his power coming as a left-hand hitter.
Quintana making his 24th start of the season. Big hat. So 2-2.
His ball, not a strike. It's pretty close, but he had Fowler well out in front. Just able to hit the top of the baseball.
Back-to-back doubles.
RBI number 33 for Dexter Fowler, who takes this ball inside out, right down the line. No chance for Jose. And with 2 outs, nobody on. A couple of doubles, ties up the ball game.
So here's Schwarber. Cal struck out on the curveball his first trip. County was at 1 to the very young 22-year-old.
I talked with him before the ball game yesterday. As you can see, with runners in scoring position, he's been all everything, hitting over 400. Said he never dreamed he would be up this quickly. Cubs brought him up. He hasn't stopped hitting. I think Tyler Flowers is having a conversation with Joe West. He wasn't ecstatic about the first pitch. Certainly that one was maybe just a touch better, and both of them called down and out of the zone.
Another big swing, Schwarber. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 in. Game tied at 1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Sanchez, and that'll retire the side, but back-to-back double by Russell and Fowler, tied at 1.
By Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Top of the order here in the bottom of the 3rd. Game tied at 1. 1-2-1 for them. 1-1-0 for us. We get some help with a big arrow by Arrieta.
Joe's consistent because Jose didn't get that and Jake didn't get that.
Well, 2 things I've learned in baseball. 2 rules. First rule in baseball, you got to catch the ball. That's number 1.
And second rule?
Don't mess with Joe West. He's one of, he and I have butted heads for over 30 years. But one thing about him, he's one of the best, if not the best ball and strike guys in the game.
Yeah, he's been pretty good for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and this highlights every aspect of what a third baseman has to do. It helps if you're quick, and he runs this pop-up down in foul territory. Then you got good hands, but you also have to have a strong arm, and he does just that, getting Soler. And then the flat-out dive, the great first step quickness and lightning reflexes, all 3 on exhibit.
Well, he's going to be a big fan favorite here for a long time. talking with Joe McEwing about Saladino and asked him, can he play shortstop? Joe looked at him funny and said, yeah.
Yeah, he can.
He can play anywhere. Three and over the count. There's one. Softly hit right side. 2 down.
Love to see Tyler get on because I'd like to see the confrontation of Arrieta Ross against Saladino and trying to stop him from stealing a base. David Ross, even at 38 years old, throws the ball very well.
So here's Abreu. He has our lone hit. That was a solid double down into the right field corner. Takes that up high. A couple of finals earlier. Yankees beat Toronto in Canada 4-1. Tanaka over Estrada. In Boston, well, they beat Seattle 22-10.
Well, the good news is that Seattle scored 10 runs.
Bad news, Felix Hernandez started that game.
I'm a King Felix getting roughed up like he did. I'm not sure that's happened to him too often over the course of his career.
Well, he went 2 1/3, gave up 12 hits, 10 runs, all earned.
Jackie Bradley Jr. 5 for 6 with 7 runs batted in. That's a good day. It's a good week.
And that pitch in and out of the upper tank. Down into the lower bowl. Full count to Abreu.
Arrieta drafted by the Orioles in the 5th round of 2007, surfaced in the major leagues in 2010. He went 6-6 with a high ERA, 10-8 2011 with an ERA up over 5. But since coming to the Cubs, he's been outstanding.
And there's ball 4. Well, sometimes you get with the right pitching coach. That's the first walk issued by Jake. And that light switch goes off.
Chris Bosio is a very good one, and I'm sure that they also got Arrieta at the right time. He had been up and down through the system with the Orioles, and he never could really find his control. There you look at Chris Bosio. Outstanding pitching coach. In fact, there's 2 of them in the ballpark because Don Cooper has a proven record like very few others in the major leagues as far as helping pitchers with control problems find their control. That's what Bosio did with Arrieta, and it's worked wonders.
Melky takes strike 1. He had a pretty hard comebacker that was snabbed by Arrieta. And that's out of play. And that'll retire the side. We're into the fourth, tied at 1.
Series tied at 2, the game tied at 1.
It'll be Bryant, Rizzo, and Soler here in the top of the fourth inning.
There was a very young Rizzo fan right over the Cubs dugout.
Bryant struck out swinging at a fastball, 3-2 fastball. Takes first pitch strike. Way out in front. 0-2 the count.
That was very good motion on that breaking ball. He had Bryant swinging at the motion as opposed to the baseball.
That was his 60th pitch. The ball hit hard. Melky gets over, cuts it off, and he gets it back in. So the leadoff single.
This isn't a real good 0-2 pitch because it wasn't high enough. Now Tyler wanted it upstairs. It's a good thought process. The execution wasn't quite there as Bryant was able to get on top and hit one with a lot of overspin, a sinking line drive into left center.
Here's Rizzo. He fouled out to Saladino. He made a nice catch. Had a long way to go for it and got there. Watch out. Everybody's okay. That stayed in the confines. So that's what you call getting sawed off.
Chris Bryant did not get a good read on that and started to take off before finally putting on the brakes, and he was able to get back in. Watch Bryant. He starts to go to second base and realizing it's not going to clear the infield as the head of the bat goes flying. Bryant able to get back and avert being doubled off.
but we got a man there. 2 out.
So when you were being groomed in the major leagues as a very young player, how important was it to have a quality assurance coach? Because that's exactly what the venerable catcher, he was a terrific catcher and a really good guy, Henry Blanco, is
a great guy.
Quality assurance coach. I think it's a good idea. I don't know what it is, but I think it's a terrific idea if it involves Henry.
Henry, he always beat us. I mean, he always played well against us. If he had just 2 or 3 game-winning hits in the season, they would be against us. But no, we didn't have those quality assurance coaches back in those days. In fact, my first year in the big leagues, the minimum salary today is $508,000. Okay.
You made close to that as a minimum salary.
I made my first year, 2 years in big leagues. I made more money playing golf, shooting pool, and arm wrestling than I did playing Major League Baseball. But the minimum salary today was more than the whole payroll of the Kansas City Ball Club back in 1963.
That's surprising.
Yes, he did. He gone. And that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-1. As our Sox ace Chris Sale battles new Cub Dan Herron. So coverage begins at 12:30 right here on CSN Chicago. Garcia, LaRoche, and Ramirez. Ivy was hit by a pitch and came around to score. Our only run. Did not check it up.
One of the tendencies that Jake Arrieta has had is he's thrown off-speed pitches 64% of the time with 2-strike counts. So if you do get down, if he gets you down 2 strikes, it's good to look for something off-speed. It's tough, however, to give up on a fastball. That's one of the reasons why he's been so successful.
Yeah, you can't. You got to hit off the fastball. Unless you got somebody out there who is unique and has a unique pitching style as far as slider.
Yeah,
curveball.
Jake's got 97 in his back pocket. You can't really look for the off-speed stuff, although that's been his tendency.
Too much time. After that game, he beat us up at their place earlier. I was driving home after the game, and I was trying to remember the last time we had a game pitched that well against us, and I couldn't come up with one.
I can think of one, and he's wearing a different uniform these days. Remember the game that Jeff Samardzija, then a member of the Cubs, threw against our ball club in this park?
Well,
pretty
he put us in a slump in that game.
It was pretty dominating.
But it was a dominating game. We've had a lot of dominating games thrown against us, but that one by Arrieta was just something out of worldly.
You remember Matt Harvey of the Mets and the game that he threw against our ball club?
He threw against, that was the best stuff we had seen at that time that year.
That was really something.
But he didn't have the breaking stuff that Arrieta had. As that ball hit off Arrieta, bounced over to Bryant. Can't get it. Good try.
Yeah, the one thing that Avi did, which probably made it closer than it should have been, was he took a look back at the baseball. Instead of just going, he knows it's in the field of play. You can see it here. He hits him and then takes a look at it. Nice play by Bryant. Comes across, almost gets it there in time. And let's take a look at Avi as he looks back at it. You never know if it costs you maybe a half a step, but in this case, he's able to beat it by a half step.
There are most guys that will tell you they can look like that, like he did, and it doesn't slow him up one bit. And there are other guys that said, I cannot do it because it slows me up. So it's just like a fingerprint.
Well, the good part about it is that Arrieta hit him, and Avi hit him back.
So here is Adam. He popped up short left center field to Schwarber. Good idea.
So his 14 fastballs anywhere from 94 to 97. The slider 88 to 94, and the curveball 80 to 84. And most of them have been in the zone. Although he has hit one and walked one, which is unusual for him.
There's a strike right there. And the count 1-2. This year, Adam has had an 0-2-1-2 2015.
It seems like, yeah, he walks up there. He seems like he's down 0-2-1-2.
Yeah, you go through streaks like that. Adam Dunn. 0-2-1-2.
That year that Adam Dunn had, when he was 3 for 85 against lefties and hit 159, that was as tough a year as I've ever seen anybody have at any level.
Me too. There he goes. Safe.
The ball beat him, but Castro didn't put the tag on him. That's a good throw by Ross. And the front foot got in before the tag, and David Ross a little unhappy because he executed perfectly. We told he had a strong arm and a quick delivery. This ball beats him by plenty, and Castro just misses him.
Well, he's going to have to learn that playing second base, you're going to have to let the guy slide into it when that ball beats him that much.
He hasn't put the tag on him yet.
No. That'll get the job done. Attaboy, Adam. Yeah, getting back to Adam Dunn. I think we all grew to love that guy. You know, the way he handled it that year was amazing. And he's one of the best teammates you could ever have. But the last day of the season, we're walking out to the parking lot. And we're talking. I told him, I said, I've had some bad years, but I never had anything like that. I said, that's the worst year I've ever seen anybody have.
It's true. I mean, and he stared it right in the face and did the best he possibly could. He realized how woeful it was, but nothing he could do about it. So now the infield in at all 4 positions.
And here's Alexei. He had a little comebacker. Arrieta. And there's another one. Now they're going to get him trapped off. And he drops the ball. Everybody's safe.
That's going to be E5. As Bryant goes to put the tag on him, and the ball drops out of the glove. That'll be the 14th error of the year for Chris Bryant. Arrieta does the right thing. He runs at him, but runs him back to third base, which is the way you should do it. And he flips it to him. So everything is perfect to this point. And Bryant just never caught the baseball. So Joe Madden now comes out to talk with Jake Arrieta. Does go E5, fielder's choice E5.
You can bet that he is telling them something positive.
Well, what he's telling him is
positive.
He's going to forget about that play because now it doesn't exist. What he's going to tell him is what he wants him to do if Alexei does take off, because he realizes that Ramirez, if he's not our best base stealer, he's right in the top 2. He swiped 15 of them, been caught 4 times, and so he's saying, look, take a choice what you need to do with this game.
Well, the biggest thing he's doing is getting his mind off that play. That's something positive. You got to take that play out of his mind. Carlos drove in our first run. Curveball outside. Take it out of his mind like it never happened. Took something off for that one. So 1-1 to count.
That last one was his hard slider, very hard slider. Carlos has 1 sacrifice fly this year.
Good check. 2-1.
Schwarber with a pretty decent arm in left field. He's a lifetime catcher and he needs some arm strength to do that. But he's not playing quite as shallow as he normally would. Then again, as a part-time catcher, he probably feels a lot more comfortable coming in than he does going back.
Like I say, a decent lead. It's a real bad breaking ball now. So now 2-2.
Everybody
call for a curveball and you're catching, you realize the best ones are probably going to be in the dirt. So you got to go down and smother it. That's exactly what Ross did.
Chopper foul.
Just reached back and
2 down.
threw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle and by it. Nothing fancy about this one. Ross wants it. He threw it probably not the spot he wanted to throw it in, but he got it.
So here's Flowers. Tyler struck out swinging on the fastball. Slicing into the seats.
Castro just had a word with Russell on undoubtedly who's going to cover second base if Alexi takes off.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. Breaking ball. Grabs the strike and the count 1-2.
Let's see if Robin decides to run with Ramirez here, maybe guessing a breaking ball.
Driving a man from third base in less than 2 outs. It's absolutely amazing.
Xavier University. Come out to the ballpark for a tribute to the king of rock and roll, featuring performances by an Elvis. Purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com.
It'll be Castro, Ross, and Russell. Played a little over 2/3 of the season, and I don't think I can ever remember a Sox team having more trouble moving guys from second to third with nobody out and scoring them from third with less than 2 out. There's the strike. That's been a contagion negative virus that we just cannot get out of.
Now it makes it pretty tough to string together a whole succession of wins if that's been the case. Obviously that road trip to Cleveland and Boston before the final game was a series of a whole lot of offense when everything went right. Some games you're just going to have to manufacture some runs.
3-1 the count. Castro fouled out to Tyler Flowers his first trip. Big rip. The 25-year-old second baseman.
Packed ballpark tonight. Beautiful sight here.
That's in the center field. One out. Catcher David Ross went out to Avi in right field. That ball hit hard. But we got a man there.
Played him perfectly, even though it was a line drive rocket. Avi was right where he should have been. And better than that, one pitch in the second out of the inning. Russell was the #1 prospect of the Oakland Athletics. Traded to the Cubs in the Jeff Samardzija, Jason Hamill deal, along with Billy McKinney. Billy Beane and his Oaklands were going for it. They got some pretty good pitchers in return, but they gave up a lot of the future, namely in this kid.
1-1 the count. He doubled down into the left field corner hard, and then came around the score on Fowler's double.
There's a new angle at U.S. Cellular Field. A different shot. You get a good look at the right-hand hitter and where he sets his hands. And there's a look at where it's at. Just under the Xfinity Fundamentals deck, where if you were a youngster, you can go and learn all kinds of idiosyncrasies of the game of baseball, running the bases, and a number of other things.
Here's the payoff pitch. And that's a souvenir. Checking a couple of the scores for you. Oakland leading Baltimore 3-2, top of the 6th in Baltimore. At the Kaufman at the K in Kansas City. 7-1 Royals leading the Angels. That's in the bottom of the 4th. Once again, the 3-2. That ball hit hard. Get down. That'll be a double.
The 22nd double of the year, as Jose got a fastball up and out over the plate, and Addison Russell hooks it away from Melky.
And Robin. I'm going to check on Quintana.
I think he's probably talking to him about the fact that Fowler's had a couple of good swings at him, and Schwarber, who follows Farber, hasn't had the ball out of the infield in 2 at-bats.
Well, Arvin also asked him if he was all right, and he said yes. I think Tyler's the one to call Robin out. So here is Fowler. Hits the first pitch he saw, ground ball to Alexei.
He's not going to swing the bat this at bat.
Now he's going to put him on to get to Schwarber. First walk. And Fowler with that double just inside the line past first base.
This is the first intentional walk of the year for Dexter Fowler. That's in 427 at bats, so it doesn't happen too often. And now it's one thing to put him out first base, it's another thing to execute against a very aggressive, very talented young hitter.
Well, Dexter yesterday led off that ball game with a triple. Then he doubled in the 3rd inning. So Robin's seen enough of the extra base hits by Dexter
from both sides of the plate.
Schwarber has struck out and fouled out to Sanchez.
It's only the 9th intentional walk in Dexter Fowler's career, as you would expect for a guy who spent a lot of time leading off.
First pitch strike. Two out, 2 on. Top of the 5th if you're just joining us. A big roll of the dice right here. 2-1. There's another strike.
That one a very good curveball as Schwarber gave up on it. Right down the middle of the plate.
Well, Schwarber faced Zach Duke yesterday and had a tough at bat against him. And he got the fastball. And here's the throw to the plate.
And Tyler Flowers on a play where the ball beats Russell by plenty. Tyler Flowers wants to take a look at it, and Robin is going to find out if he did indeed tag it. Again, a perfect throw. He had it in time.
He's safe.
He's safe. He tagged the right foot, and the left foot had the plate.
So it's a 2-1 lead. They roll the dice.
One thing I can't.
That's very, very interesting call with a fastball.
Well, I was going to say I don't mind putting him on first base, but you get a young hitter who's had problems with the breaking ball this series. Try to throw a fastball by him. Didn't work out that way. As Schwarber with a very quick bat drives in his 27th run of the year.
So 2 out runners at the corners, and here is Bryant. He struck out and singled hard into left field. Yanks that one foul. Tyler moved to the inside on Schwarber. Uh-oh.
Yeah, not going to be a breaking ball in there. Not lefty to lefty.
One and one to count. I'm just happy he didn't get it up. That ball was.
Yeah, he hit that ball awfully hard.
Checks it up, fouls it back. So now advantage goes to Montana.
The time before, he got him on an inside fastball. This time, Schwarber just opened up. It wasn't on the inside corner. It had the inside part of the plate. And he hit the daylights out of it.
But they come up with one, and we're halfway home trailing 2-1. Cubs lead at 2-1. If you're just tuning in, they gave us the one run we do have. Without the benefit of a base hit, we scored in the second inning. So here's Adam. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded to second and struck out.
Let's see if third time through the order is the charm, as it is the top of the order here in the bottom of the fifth.
Well, it's probably going to go one way or the other. Let's face it, Arrieta has not been sharp through the first 4 like he was earlier by any stretch of the imagination, and they gave us the one run we got. So let's see if he continues that, or if that just pumps him up to have that lead now.
Last 18, and Adam has been awfully good at 377. When he gets on, he has a tendency to score. He scored 17 runs in those 18 games.
Fastball at 96. Don't help him out. A beautiful evening here in the City Beautiful, except for the score. And there is the leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Arrieta. And here is Saladino, who's grounded to short, grounded to second.
Very rare that Arrieta will walk a couple of guys in the same game. He came in his 23 starts with a grand total of 39 walks. He's already walked 2 and hit 1. So the control just hasn't been there. Let's see if the Sox can make him pay for it.
Talking about the turnaround that Arrieta made since leaving Baltimore. And Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, we've got 2 of the best in the business in this ballpark tonight. In fact, Coop, our guy, has got something that no other pitching coach in baseball has, and that's since 2002 the most quality starts of any pitching coach in the game. The only team that has more than we do are the Mets, but during that time period, they've had 4 pitching coaches.
That'll happen in New York on occasion, where it's bring on the new guy, even if the old guy's pretty good.
Oh, 1-1 the count. That is foul, not playable. And very quickly he's in the big hole, 0-2. Got him. 1 out.
Takes his fastball, not down the middle, but on the outer third, and it has a whole plate.
5th strikeout for Arrieta. Abreu is doubled and walked. And there's first pitch strike. Just flipped that one up there at 95.
Schwarber is playing around in left center field. They're giving Jose the entire left field line and plenty of it.
Shot. And that retired shot.
Sox score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off your entire online order at papajohns.com with the promo code SOX5. That's at all participating Papa John's locations. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Bryant, Rizzo, Soler here in the top of the 6th inning. Bryant 1 for 2, a hard single in the left field. He was at the plate when Schwarber was caught stealing. And that was the 95th pitch thrown by Quintana. He's thrown at least 100 pitches in his last 7 starts. Right-hander Chris Archer of the Rays has the longest active streak of that category with 9. Two runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for them. Run on just 2 hits and no errors for us.
That was a good curveball, caught the outside corner. Yeah, Bryant swinging over it.
He gone.
This one a better curveball because instead of blowing away, it's low and in, out of the zone, and when you're ahead, that's always a good spot for it. Tyler does a nice job of making sure it doesn't get by.
Here's Rizzo. Fouled out. Saladino shattered his bat. Looped out to Sanchez. High foul.
Extra base hits in the National League. Todd Frazier of Cincinnati on top with Nolan Arenado in the second spot. Then it's Bryce Harper, Anthony Rizzo with 54, and Paul Goldschmidt, who's having just a great year with the Diamondbacks.
High. Now he picks it up. Watch out. And the ball falls.
And he falls.
He lost it.
And one thing you really have to do is, Robin, a little frustrated, you got to allow people to know that you can't see it. And right there, when Adam lost it, he just sort of said, can't see it, and backed away, because Melky could have made that catch. Then Melky gives way, and Adam still can't see it.
Adam at one point said, I got it right there, and then backed off.
Boy.
So here is Soler. Chops out one foul.
'30th double of the year for Anthony Rizzo, and maybe one of the few gifts he's got.
Big gap out there in right center.
Adam loses this ball early. Right here, he has no idea where the fly ball is. And if he yells out to Melky, then he can take it. But now he's saying, I've got it. Once you say, I have it, then you have to go get it.
Here's the throw to the plate. Overthrown.
And unfortunately, Jose is not backing up. So Soler goes into second.
Boy, this has just been 5 and a third innings of just a bunch of mistakes.
Mistakes on both sides of the equation, but it's really coming back to haunt the Sox. Soler goes out on the front foot, still able to get it into left field. Melky airmails Tyler Flowers at the plate, and nobody's backing up. It goes single, run batted in, E7. And Soler now with 38 driven in. The Sox have their first error of the night to go with 2 that the Cubs have committed.
A whole bunch of mistakes in 5 and a third innings. So here's DeNorfio. He was robbed of a base hit on a brilliant play by Saladino. And he struck out. tag on.
Well, if you are a youngster and you are out there watching this game, pretty much disregard most of the baseball you've seen because it's been very bad. This is a horrible base running play. There you see Soler, and the ball's hit in front of him. If the ball's hit in front of you and you're running at second base, you cannot take off to go to third because on a would-be base hit, you're going to get thrown out.
This reminds me of a game I played in when I was with the Junior Chamber of Commerce and we were playing the Optimists.
You're not kidding.
Here's Castro. He's fouled out to Flowers and going out to center. Three, 7, and 2 for them. 1, 2, and 1 for us.
Jake Petrichka loosening in the pen.
That ball hit hard. But we got a man there, makes the catch, that'll return the side, so a gift run. Another one crosses the slate, and we trail it 3-1.
Cobb for second all-time in professional hits. He had 1,278 in 9 seasons in Japan. He's also 85 hits away from 3,000 in this country. What a career it's been for Ichiro. One of the most well-schooled players I've ever seen anywhere at any time.
It'll be Cabrera, Garcia, and LaRoche to face Jake Arrieta. Sent out a big White Sox hello to a guy who just absolutely adores, loves Chicago. Tom Dreesen watching out in L.A. tonight. Great guy. He's got my money on the golf course.
And you must have given him a lot of strokes because I played with him.
You don't have to ruin it. Tommy is a great guy. He does so many great things for charity.
Man, he's a very funny man.
Yes, he is. One ball, 2 strikes. Castro, a little backhand action. 1 out.
Sox fans, the first 25,000 fans at a Chicago White Sox home game from July 17th through August 26th will receive a Hubbard Inn game card good for 20% off a meal at Hubbard Inn, Barn and Company, and Juliet's. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Here's Avi. Avi is 1 for 1 with a run scored and a stolen base. He was hit by a pitch leading off the second, came around to score. And leading off the fourth, had an infield single and stole the base. Want to know the count. There's the strike. Comebacker for Arrieta, who's catching the ball very nicely. Meanwhile, 39,579. Manning in every seat.
That's our 4th sellout this year.
So here's Adam. Gone out to left, and he's grounded to second. But that grounder to second got the job done because Avi was on second base. With nobody out. Got him over to third, and we couldn't do anything with it. That's into left field. Get over his head. It will. So there's the double for Adam. That's his 17th two-bagger.
Kyle Schwarber does the best he can do in left field, but he's just learning that position. He was a catcher a good portion of his career, and Adam hits his ball hard. Schwarber does not get a good jump on it and has the ball go well over his head. But he has driven in a big run that put his ball club on top.
Here's Alexei. He's reached bait twice. Reached on an error. And a fielder's choice. Ball hit hard by Bryant. So here comes Adam. He's going to cross the plate. And it's a 3-2 ball game with a tying run at second.
After reaching base twice on errors, Alexei drives in run number 43. Rifles this one right down the line by Bryant. This is a hanging slider, one of the few mistakes that Jake Arrieta has made tonight. That ball just under the glove of a diving Bryant. Adam scores easily. And things getting a whole lot more interesting here in the bottom of the sixth.
pick him up. Here's Carlos. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Goes through that one at 96. That was the speed of the fastball he struck out on in the 4th.
This one just a little bit higher, the top part of the zone. Ross looking over into the dugout.
Cues that one. Bryant's got to hurry. And just does get it. Nice play by Chris Bryant. But we pick up 1, and we will go to the 7th, trailing by 1.
Photo to hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You might just see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. We've got a new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it is Jake Petrichka. There you look at the numbers. On for the 48th time. His record even at 3-3. ERA of 5.312. And he enters a one-run ball game with the Sox on the trailing end of a 3-2 score.
It'll be Ross, Russell, then back to the top of the order with Dexter Fowler. David Ross twice has gone out to Avi in right field the last time back in the 5th inning. Very hard line drive. Outfield straight up, spread out, about equidistant.
Jose Quintana went 6, gave up the 3 runs on 7 hits. With a walk, it was an intentional walk and 4 strikeouts. Chicago White Sox Charities present Sox Serve Week, a week-long initiative dedicated to giving back to the community we call home. Sox Serve Week will take place the week of August 24th. For more information, visit whitesox.com/SoxServe.
Addison Russell is 2 for 2, 2 doubles and 2 runs scored.
Jake Petrichka knows he made a mistake because he had him at second by plenty, and he just double clutched a couple of times. By then it was too late. It's not a good bunt. Right here he's got some time. Thinks about it. Yeah.
With that position he was in to make the throw to first.
He was thinking to throw to second and then went to first.
So here comes Coop. We got very lucky.
Zach Duke throwing in the pen.
Yankees beat Toronto 4-1. That was up in Canada. One run for the Blue Jays. RBI by Josh Donaldson. That was his 86th RBI.
Yankees have cooled off the Blue Jays. They've now won 3 games in a row, and they have a 1.5 lead over Toronto. That's still going to be just a wonderful race.
So Ross the second one out, and here is Dexter. 1 for 2 with an intentional walk. Gap out there in right center. Just off the corner. Count 3-1.
A pretty good pitch, and Jake certainly wanted it. Toyota Pitch Track will show you it had the whole plate. And that one right off of Tyler. He is going to limp a little bit as Joe West giving him some time. Right off the top of the left foot.
That's got to hurry.
Well, I think Joe Maddon's going to have him take a look at this one. It was a terrific play by Tyler. I just don't know if it got there in time.
In real time, it looked like he just beat it. But we'll see.
Yeah, they're going to appeal this one, and Joe probably figures he doesn't have anything to lose, and he's safe. Actually safe by a good portion.
That's a Kansas City special right there.
With his speed from the left side, from the right side, maybe you get him, but from the left side, no. Foot on the bag, ball not in the glove yet. This shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
You could have got his ankle, his Achilles stepped on right there very easily.
He just missed him. And also, the way his foot turned in, he just missed breaking an ankle.
That's close. So Jake will depart. And Schwarber will be the hitter. And Zach Duke comes on.
Zach on for the 53rd time. He's been a very busy man. His ERA 3.30, a 3-4 record. And he's got to deal with Kyle Schwarber. And Chris Bryant in the on-deck circle in case Schwarber does not ground into an inning-ending double play.
Well, Zach came in last night, 7th inning. First guy he faced was Schwarber, and he struck him out. Home breaking stuff.
I was going to say, and a good slider out of the zone, low and away.
Three, 9, and 2 for them. 2, 4, and 1 for us here in the top of the 7th inning. No other activity in our pen. So.
It's Zach against the world.
Yeah. There's the strike. Full counts. One out, 2 on. Cubs lead at 3-2. They scored 1 in the third to tie it. We scored 1 in the second. Then they scored 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. And they just did get a piece of it. And we scored 1 last inning. 2 out doubles by LaRoche and Ramirez. Once again, the payoff. Take your time. And the ball gets thrown away. So they're going to get another gift run. You got to be bleeping.
This should have been a pretty easy 1-6-3. Lindsey decides to throw it flat-footed. Not sure exactly why, but it was not a good throw, and then the ball does get away. Fielder's choice, E6, no run batted in, as that one gets away, and it's a 4-2 game.
Ryan takes ball 1. Yep. By the way, we won that game, Junior Chamber of Commerce over the Optimist.
Well, 9 outs to go in this one, so still some time.
Time. Unless we give them some more. One and 2.
Matt Albert is listening up in the pen.
Watch out.
Pass long happy anniversary. The 14th to Mike and Judy Layden. Very big Sox fans.
Keeps it in front of him. So a full count with Rizzo on deck. and the payoff. Close pitch, didn't get it. And here comes Rizzo. Rizzo 1 for 3. That was a gift double, a high fly ball into center field. They lost it and then could not recover to make the catch, even though they were both standing right there. It fell in, and then Jorge Soler singled him in.
Now Don Cooper with the long slow walk to the mound. Cub fan, Sox fan. And to this point, that Cub fan's enjoying this one a little bit more than her Sox fan friend.
Well, it's always nice to receive gifts. No, they should be. They should be enjoying it.
This has been a very generous ball game.
Two on, two out. I'll be very deep in right field. The one to the just turned 26-year-old first baseman. Two-one pitch. That evens. Full count. And once again, a payoff pitch. So another gift run is going across the plate, and it's a 5-2 lead.
First run batted into the night, 68th of the year for Anthony Rizzo. Finally got one to his liking. It was a fastball. It was down. And he drives it through the right side.
There goes Robin. So Zach Duke will depart. Matt Albers comes on, and we'll be back.
all season wherever you are with MLB.tv Game of the Day. In-depth highlights, live look-ins, replay previews, radio broadcasts, and more. Browse the app's new features, including StatCast tracking video and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. And our Honda call to the pen is Matt Albers. Out for the 14th time. He's 2-0. His ERA .237. There you look at the numbers. And there are Cubs at first and third. It's been a 2-run inning already, stretching the lead to 3.
2 gift runs. As a matter of fact, we have given him 3 of the 5 runs tonight. So here's Soler. 1 for 3, that RBI in the 6th inning.
And Robin Ventura was thrown out of the ball game by Joe West. Robin hands the ball to Matt Albers and then comes back and has a word with Joe West. And didn't take much more than that. Probably contesting some of the calls by Joe West with Petrichka and Duke.
Two and one to count. You got to watch Rizzo. Rizzo is 15 for 20 in stolen bases.
This has been one of the better Cub running teams of late. They swiped 78, and including Schwarber getting cut down trying to steal in the 5th, they've been thrown out 30 times.
And that's trouble. So another gift run crosses the plate. 3 unearned runs this inning. Here's DeNorfia. 0 for 3 tonight. But was robbed of the base hit on just a beautiful diving catch by Saladino at third base. Takes first pitch strike. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Chris Sale against Dan Herron, newly acquired right-hander for the Cubs. Chris Sale against Herron, game at 1:10, and we'll have it for you over WGN.
The Norfolk barely able to foul that ball off.
Two out, 0-2. Next, that one just fouled. Final from Target Field, Minnesota beats Cleveland 4-1. Top of the ninth at Houston, Detroit shutting them out 1-0. 9-1, Kansas City beating the Angels. That's in the ninth inning in Kansas City.
Dan Jennings loosening up in the pen.
Three more gift runs across the plate. Seventh inning stretch, they lead at 6-2. Do a lot of damage in 9 outs. Let's have some good at bats.
And the Cub bullpen is up and going, so probably getting to the point for Joe Madden where he figures that Jake Arrieta, although not ready to leave yet, will leave in the not too distant future.
Well, as Tyler, first ball hunting, and 1 out. Not going to sneak up on Madden.
Nope, he's a good one. And for the Cubs, I think the merry-go-round has stopped. They've had 5 managers in the last 6 seasons. That includes Joe Madden in his first year this year. But he's going to be there just about as much time as he wants to be there. Because he is good. He's got a good young team. And they've got a pretty strong coaching staff. So I think Joe's going to be around.
Adam Eaton. Takes first pitch strike. Adam 0 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, Joe's put himself in that category. You might tie him, but you're not going to beat him.
Yeah, did just a great job in Tampa.
That job he done that. Tampa was unbelievable.
Well, considering
that wasn't great.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable.
I think he did a terrific job along with Andrew Friedman, who came down. They were piecing together their bullpen seemingly on a yearly basis, didn't have much revenue, so they didn't spend a great deal on payroll. And year after year, Joe Maddon's ball club was in contention. So talking about squeezing the most out of what he had, he was able to do just that. And now he has a great deal of young talent.
And when you got young talent, especially young talent, but any kind of talent, the main purpose of a manager is not handling a pitching staff or running a ball game. The main purpose of a manager is somehow taking pressure off your players. That's the main purpose.
Well, he can do that.
He's a master of it.
Does some of the strangest things any manager would do.
Well, they're 18 games over 500 coming in tonight, and he's got a very young club out there. He did it down in Tampa. You can take the pressure off the players at the major league level. You got something going. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. 6-11-2 for them. 2-4 in a huge 2, which could be more for us. There's a shot. Attaboy Tyler. Got a rolling breaking ball right there and didn't miss it. So the 2-out double.
And unlike the game that Jake Arrieta threw against our ball club at Wrigley, he's made a couple of mistakes. Not too many, but a couple of mistakes on the inner portion. Tyler takes advantage of this one. And here comes Joe Maddon. I think that he probably has seen just about enough from Jake. And he's going to the pen, so the night is done for Jake Arrieta, who's in line to win his 14th ball game of the year. For an inning and 2/3, he struck out 3. On for the 42nd time. There you see the numbers. A minuscule 139 earned run average with 47 strikeouts in 32 1/3 innings. He was acquired from the Texas Rangers. And that was in a deal that sent Matt Garza to Texas. There's a look at the numbers so far for Arrieta at 6 2/3. He's responsible for Saladino at second. Only 5 hits, 1 earned run, a couple of walks and 5 strikeouts. He did it with less than his best tonight, and he did it pretty well.
Keep it going, Jose. That pitch at 98 downstairs. And the count 2-0. That's going to be in the seats, souvenir. Everybody. If you're just tuning in, 39,579. $36,386 yesterday. Another huge crowd tomorrow. Away. Tyler into third on the wild pitch.
Eighth wild pitch of the year for Graham as that breaking ball goes to the right of Ross. No chance at all for him to get that. He leads the staff in wild pitches.
Gets through. It will. Tyler will score. And this one more run for us. It's now a 6-3 Cub lead.
That one charged to Jake Arrieta in absentia. As Jose goes right back through the middle. He drives in his 68th of the year.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. We'd rather see Jose facing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball than a soft tosser out there on the mound. So here is Melky. One swing of the bat now would put a little different slant on this one. Melky, 3 groundouts. One back to the pitcher, one to first, and one to second.
And Melky can't believe that Joe West called that one a strike. Go to pitch tracks. Take a look at this one.
But we pick up one. We'll go to the 8th, trailing 6-3. Sports on Sportsnet Central. Don't miss the latest from Bourbonnais as the Bears get ready for next week's preseason matchup with the Colts. Plus baseball highlights and much, much more. That's Sportsnet Central tonight after White Sox postgame live on CSC. Eighth inning, 6-3 Cubs. 4 gift runs we have given them tonight. If you're just joining us, 4 of the 6. So it'll be the lower third of the order: Castro, Ross, and Russell. First pitch strike from Matt. Castro 0 for 3 last time, up line hard to Adam Eaton in center field.
Gary Jones, the third base coach, is way out there.
He should be.
He's supposed to make sure that he's not picked off by a line drive.
One foul ball by Chris Bryant almost got him when he was in close. One out. That'll bring up David Ross, who's 1 for 3. He's hit the ball very hard twice tonight. Once for a single, and he has scored a run. Started off that ugly 7th with a hard single. Flips a breaking ball strike up there. And the count 0-2. Arizona leading Atlanta 8-4 down in Atlanta. Bottom of the third in Dodger Stadium. 6-3 Dodgers over Cincinnati. Bottom of the 6th in Denver. 4-3 San Diego. Texas leading Tampa Bay 6-1 down in Arlington. That's in the bottom of the 6th, and that's Archer on the bump. 11th inning at Citi Field. Pirates and the Mets are tied at 3. Baltimore came back and defeated Oakland 4-3 at Oriole Park. Milwaukee over Philadelphia 4-2 at Miller Park. And the Cardinals beat Miami 6-2 in St. Louis. Outfield straight up, spaced about equidistant. Two and two.
That one just off the corner, very close, but wasn't in the zone.
Full count.
Addison Russell's had a very good night tonight. 2 times with 2 outs. He doubled and later scored.
Two down. He doubled in the 3rd, scored, doubled in the 5th. Had a sacrifice bunt last inning. Big swing by the 21-year-old. One and two. For our guys in the bottom of the 8th will be Garcia, LaRoche, Ramirez, and hopefully a few more.
Tried to get that sinker inside after a couple of sliders, but Russell was able to foul it off.
Two balls, 2 strikes. You missed that Boston score at Fenway. They beat Seattle 22-10. Felix Hernandez started that game. He gone. He knew it. 1-2-3 inning for Matt. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 3. Off. Bobby 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and scored that in the 2nd inning. And he had an infield single, stole a base, and he bounced back to the pitcher. Takes ball 1. That's out there in the short center field.
Nice play by Dexter Fowler as he ran it down. Looked like it was going to fall, but was not to be.
Yeah, he made that play easy. Here's Adam. He's 1 for 3, a double. And a run scored. That's out of play. Yeah, in that Boston-Seattle game, Hernandez started, worked 2 1/3, gave up 12 hits, 10 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, threw 3 home runs.
Take a look at some of those numbers on the Boston side. Those guys had good weeks in one ball game.
Text it up. Ross got plenty of time. So 2 out. And Brock Holt's got his average up to 281. He's been hot. He went 3 for 6 in that ball game. A couple RBIs.
He's a real good utility player, all-purpose player. You can put him anywhere, and he gives you great effort, and he swings the bat.
Bogarts went 4 for 7. He's hitting at 315. Ortiz, David, went 3 for 3, 3 RBIs.
Good Jackie Bradley Jr.'s line.
All he did was go 5 for 6, scored 5 runs, knocked in 7.
Nice night. Nice day, whatever it was.
Yeah. He hit 2 home runs the other day. He's got 4 home runs. They said he couldn't hit a lick. I was talking to some Boston people. They said he can go get it. He can catch it with the best of them.
Can do that.
But he can't swing the bat. It's tough to write off a 21-year-old kid that quick.
Especially when he's the best defender on your team. In your organization, actually.
0-2. Yeah. One guy I talked to, the Red Sox guy, he was very adamant about it. That he can't hit. Line shot. That's a hang whooping. Meanwhile, 1-2-3 inning, and we're into the 9th.
But Tyler Saladino had one terrific inning as he runs one down in foul territory. Then he makes a terrific play against Soler, gunning it across to get him by a full step, and this is the best of the bunch, diving to his left, taking away yet another base hit. So Tyler Saladino defensively, our Miller moments of the night.
Usually when you get some good action like that defensively, and that coming in the top of the second inning, that usually propels the ball club. Defense will either take you up faster than anything or take you down faster than anything.
That was some pretty good defense, but didn't amount to much as Dan Jennings comes in the ball game. He inherits a 3-run deficit.
6-11-2 for them, 3-6-2 for our guys, and the 2 is very misleading. It should be more. One and one to count. Three-one, and it's full. Here you go. One out.
Steady diet of breaking pitches, and he took a fastball right down the middle.
So here's Schwarber. Kyle. 1 for 4 tonight. This young man will turn it loose. There's a strike in the count 0-2. Just tuning in, we scored 1 in the second. They tied it 1 in the third. They scored 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. We scored 1 in the sixth. They added 3 gift runs in the seventh, and we came back with 1 in the seventh, and it's a 6-3 ball game. Two.
Some interesting glow sticks behind home plate. Maybe they can light up a rally in the bottom of the ninth.
Stay with that breaking ball pretty good. Count hangs at 2-2. Got a pretty good pitch to hit right there. Couldn't do anything with it.
Got his fastball on the inner portion and fouled it off.
I tell you, Dan Jennings, now that he's healthy, he's got some good stuff.
If he gets it over, he's going to be tough to hit.
He gone. 2 down. 2 strikeouts for Jennings.
Threw a high fastball by him.
So here's Bryant. He's 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. That's quick. Quick breaker. 0-1. And 2. That Pirate net game still tied at 3. Citi Field, bottom of the 12th inning. And that's by Sanchez. So the 2-out single, and that'll bring up Rizzo.
2 hits tonight for Bryant as he takes his slider, goes the opposite way. Carlos just missed it.
Rizzo is 2 for 4. Had a gift double and scored a run back in the 6th inning. High fly ball to center field. They lost it. Very high fly. Chris Sale in the bump tomorrow against Dan Herron, newly acquired right-hander. Two and 0 the count. Rizzo originally signed by the Red Sox and went to the Padres, and now to the Cubs. That one hangs inside, so 3-0 the count.
There were 2 guys that really had a lot of faith in Rizzo when he was really struggling. One is Theo Epstein and the other is Jed Hoyer.
They got themselves a good one. There's strike 1. Miguel Cabrera back in that lineup for the Tigers. They're tied at 1, top of the 11th. With Houston, maybe with a couple of hits tonight. 2 on, 2 out. That'll bring up Soler. Soler, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Last hit a Kansas City special, a little flare into right field.
5 of the Cubs have 2 hits tonight, so they've spread around pretty good throughout this batting order.
Right to the bag, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Come on, guys. We need 3 to tie.
The Airs divided with 2 each. And there's a beautiful look at the city. And tomorrow it's going to be our best, Chris Sale, against Dan Herron, newly acquired from the Miami Marlins. So game time for the final game of the series. 1:10 tomorrow. And Hector Rondon comes into the ball game at 4-2. His ERA 1.68. On for the 55th time. He's 20 of 24 in save opportunities. Opponent's hitting just .209, which is a very low total. Testament to pretty good stuff. There's some very young fans who would love to see 4.
First pitch up high to Carlos. Carlos 0 for 3 with an RBI.
Emilio Bonifacio in the on-deck circle.
Don't help him out, Carlos. 2-0 the count. Outfield short, swung around to the left. Count evens at 2.
That was best pitch of the at bat, 98 on the outside corner, just above knee high.
Ball hit sharply. Meanwhile, Russell's got him. 1 out. So here's Emilio. Heading for Tyler. Flowers was 0 for 3 tonight. That fastball at 97. Takes the bunt and he takes the strike. We can't do anything here. It'll be up to Chris Sale trying to even up the season series at 3 apiece tomorrow afternoon.
Chris Sale and Mooley acquired Dan Heron.
One and 2. That one at 98. There's 0. 2 down. And here is Adam Eaton. A couple of ground outs to second, a strikeout, and a walk. And if you're just tuning in, when you're a Sox fan, you have not missed a whole bunch.
Yeah, this has been a tough one tonight.
Yeah. It's been a grand giveaway. That's up high. And that's up high. 3-1. There you go. That'll bring up Tyler. Tyler's 1 for 4, a double and a run scored. Adams going to go on down. It's indifference. One strike to Saladino. And very quickly they count 0-2. All right, Calvin, give him a battle right here. Get on for a break. The 1-2 pitch. And this ball game is over. Just a bad ball game, Steve.
Yeah, not much you can do. You just forget about that, and Chris Sale comes out with a big effort tomorrow.
All right, our player of the game is Addison Russell. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, our player of the game. So, for Steve Stone, for our Hall of Fame director Jim Angio, for our star producer Mike Leary, for our associate producer Dave Ross, for our fine technical manager Mark Harper, also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, for Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Doug Bullard, and the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sports Net.